So, welcome to the money game. May or may not be the way you're expecting it, but this is the start of it. So welcome. Thanks for wanting to play. I think money is one of the coolest things to talk about because in the kind of game of embodiment of true self, beyond the contracted idea of self that we've grown up and believed ourselves to be, nothing tends to show us more clearly where we are than in the realm of money. And I don't just mean by the idea that, oh, well, if you've got loads of money, then clearly you're embodying true self more. No, not a bit of it. It's the attitudes, the psychology, the behavior around money. So there are people with millions, billions in terms of assets, some of which, probably a lot of which are liquid, who have money troubles. So it's not just about not having enough. Not at all. So I thought we'd kick off with something that's really fun to look at and talk about this evening, which is I can't afford it. And this is in no way any kind of sales pitch or anything like that. There's nothing on offer. So if that like has come up for you immediately, oh, what's he going to try and persuade us into? Nah, it's not here. But I can't afford it is interesting because the true self is always looking for expansion. It's always, just going to see if I can swap hands. Oh, cool. It's always looking for growth. It's always looking for more. That's its nature. It's expansive. This is an expansive universe. We are expansive beings. So the idea that more is kind of egoic is rubbish, fundamentally. It's your nature to desire to express more fully, more openly, more lovingly, more abundantly. So the desire to be open to receiving more money, more wealth is natural. It's a reflection of that. And I can't afford it. It's an interesting psychological blocker to the natural expansion of the true self. So a lot of stuff I've watched around this, heard around this topic is back to front actually. It misses the point that your desire for expansion is coming from who you really are. It's coming from true nature, wanting to explore. I'm going to go back that way. Yeah, it's easy. Wanting to explore and expand itself for its own joy. And that's really important to see because, for one thing, you might want to be expanding, want to be growing, want to do things, want to do stuff that costs money, and then feel bad about that, like you shouldn't, or if you do that, then somehow you're taking that opportunity away from someone else. And that's where the I can't afford it psychology comes in, because I can't afford it doesn't always equate to I technically don't have that cash available. It equates to a bigger picture of thinking, which is what I wanted to point at in this first video. And that is that what I desire and the means to create what I desire is somehow in short supply, and I, this contracted, limited idea of a being, am unable to access that. It separates, it cuts us off from resource. And that separation, whilst it can feel real, is illusory. There is no separation between you and abundance. So in other words, in practical terms, there's actually no separation between you and all the money that there is and ever could be, but that you think there is. That's a pretty bold claim, David, for a video on a walk in an evening. So ponder it. Right? If that limited thinking were to be disrupted enough, and for somebody it might just happen just in this short video. If that were to be disrupted enough that it would become visible, you become consciously present to it, then it could just fall away altogether. And you could really see that if your expanded self is drawn towards something, or you could say that it allows something in, an opportunity, then at the same time that opportunity is created, the means by which you would transact, you would pay for that opportunity, are simultaneously created. There's no gap between it. So what then governs whether we take that opportunity or not is our thinking. And the thinking, the personal self, is the resistance. That's the only resistance there is. Wow, that sounds bright in my eyes. I can't see a thing now. That's funny. So in the absence of that personal thinking, you'll feel the expansion, you'll draw an opportunity towards you, or you could say that you're drawn towards it. It doesn't really matter, interchangeable, it's all the same. And it's for the greater expansion of you, which is you and everything, same thing. And at that very point, the means by which that is made possible is simultaneously made available to you. Now, if the psychology kicks in of lack, which is, well, I can't afford it, that's not going to be possible for me, then you're effectively signaling to yourself and the universe that you don't want the expansion. And it's not a problem. I mean, like, no one's sitting around judging it. Well, we can judge it, but there's no higher power judging all this. The universe isn't saying, well, that's a bad flower, it didn't grow to its full potential in the garden. That's more like rhetorical bunkum, really. But you're signaling that the contraction's okay. And I don't think you want to be doing that. This doesn't mean rush out and do everything. And it might mean that. It might well mean that. Only you will know. But that's just an introduction into the money game that I wanted to share with you. So I'd love to know what you hear in that. What resonates for you? What stirs you? Is there something where you go, oh, that's rubbish? Or is there something where you go, oh my God, yeah, I see that. I can't afford it. It's simply a limitation of the finite mind, of the idea of self that we have and hold on to because it feels like it will protect the body. That's its dream. Dreams it's in charge of the body and can protect it. No. So in the money game, through this series of videos, what we hope to do is to prize the mind off this natural abundance that we are and simply bask in it. Simply be able to see these opportunities. Oops. Could do with one of those camera steady things, couldn't I? It's just my arm. We're creating these opportunities for ourselves, and we want to be able to move in the direction of them smoothly and surely, knowing that the universe has got our back. The means to create will appear. Might take it to the wire. My experience is it sometimes does. It's kind of part of the fun of it. My character likes that. It's part of the sort of, I don't know, risk taker in me, I guess. I enjoy it. Get a kick out of it, which is, I guess, why I create it. So there you go. Let me know what you think. If you want to share this video, please do. Set some context for people. Maybe say what drew you to the money game. And I'll see you on the next one.